Hi, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today we're going to do the Threadology Quilt, Block 1, and it is the Ohio Star. I've got my fabrics cut out here. It's those squares. Well, when I started looking at the directions, I realized I had not cut out enough of these squares, which are D. I put the D in this column here. The B's are up there. The A is there. The C is here. These are A's and these are C's. We're going to take these, we're going to put right sides together, and we're making half square triangles. So we're making, it says 4. Now don't forget you need to mark them too. So we marked them. Remember the line down the middle is the one that's going to be cut, and the dash lines are going to be sewn on. Alright? I might have done it the other way in the last video that I did half square triangles, but that's okay. Alrighty, now let's start. And since you're not starting on the edge right here, you should not have to worry about this fabric going down into the hole on your plate if you're using a the plate that doesn't have just the hole in it for the needle to go down, but it's made so that you can do fancy stitches or zigzag or something like that, because you're starting here on the side. And I've just pinned it one time right here. I'll pick my sewing line up. Put my foot to rise here for the next time. Let's make sure my seam lined up. There we go. And then I'll just take the next one and put it up there. I was haphazardly pinning these. I should have done a little bit better job. And then just do them all like this. You're just going to do every one of them right after the other. And when you get done, we'll turn around and we'll come back the other direction. Alright, let me show you what the directions are saying to do. Because you're supposed to be able to feel that. Line it up on both ends. Put a pin in it to hold it on both sides. Because you can feel them nest in there. Let's do this like that. Oops, I got it. Alright. And then they want you to take your ruler and your marking pencil. Let me see if I can turn this so I can see what I'm doing, because if I can't see it, you can't see it. They want you to take your ruler. This is my middle mark, and I'm going with this seam. So I'm drawing a line from this end to this end, just like we did before. To me, this is a lot harder. I don't know if you're going to have difficulty with it or not. So what I'm going to do now is take the other color and make my dash lines. Let me make sure I'm still in the picture here. Okay, a little bit. There we go. And remember, when you make your dash lines, you put the line of your ruler on the left of the line that you just made down the middle of your fabric, because your pin's going to take up some of the room. And then I flip it over and do the same thing here. I'm going with the line. Okay, and I'm going to take this, pull it over a little bit, and pin it before I sew it so that it's straight. And every one of these has to be done like that. And sew this one right here. Then we're going to take a look at it, because if we've got to replace it, at least it's only one. All right, let's do this here. pretty accurate with this. Let's take a look at it here. Here it is all sewn. Let's cut it right down the middle like it's saying to do. Well, it made the points in there. Let me do the next one. And then it's got, where's my colors at? So my D, which are these here, it would be there, there, there. All right, let me turn this off a minute so I can get it figured out. After I cut it and opened it, I laid it out like the picture. Because you know I say, always do one block before you do too many. And want them all. So this is the way it looks. But I'm looking at this and it looks like, I don't know if it is the light or if my fabric, no, it's the light. It just must be the light in here because these things, these, like that one there and that one, because of the lighting, and this one here, they look like they're the wrong side. Like they're the inside, but when you pull them up to the light, it's correct. I mean, I'm looking at it without the camera, and it's okay, but through the camera, it looks like it's wrong. Now we have to take these little blocks that we just did, and we have to square them up, because this block that it goes with is 2.5. So these need to be 2.5 inches. So remember, unless you have a lock block 2.5 inch, if you take your little ruler, I go a little bit more than 2.5. Put your 45-degree angle right down the seam, just like we did in the last video for the 2019 Murder Mystery Quilt. And we're going to square it up. So I always put it down the 45-degree angle on that seam. And I'm going to cut off a little bit first. Well, that was kind of jaggedy. Boy, I'm not doing too good on the top. Problem is I got a cut on my thumb and I can't grip on this ruler. Oh my gosh. I mean, let me get a bigger ruler here. Oh my gosh. I got a split on my thumb because of the weather. And it hurts. Okay, now. And I'm beginning to think that it is the rotary cutter because that was too many cuts jagged. Let me switch my cutter. Maybe that blade needs to be changed out already on that. I just got that in that box. Let me check here. And maybe that's the problem. I noticed it the last time. I don't know. Here, let's try this. All right, let's get this. And let's go. I'm going to try it this way first, and then I'll come back. And I just won't go up that side. We'll just do each side. It's going to take longer, but... No, it's doing it. I'm wondering if it needs to be ironed more. Okay, so it did need some starching. So I need to starch all these as I get them before I actually cut them. So let me get these starched right here so I can square them up. Okay, so there's the way the block is supposed to look when it's finished. And I probably, looking at it, I probably should have ironed that to the other side, but I'm not worried about it. It is 6.5 by 6.5 when it's all said and done. I'm going to do the aqua color one. I went ahead and I pinned the two ends so that the opposite, when you made your half square triangle, you have the blue at the bottom and the white at the top. And when you flip it, you have the blue at the top and the white at the bottom, because these are nestling. I marked down the center, and now I marked a 1/4 inch on each side. And I am doing a 1/4 inch seam on this one. When you do that, your block will be 6.5 inches unfinished, which means they will square it up and finish it. If you don't care, then it doesn't make any difference. Do whatever you want. You can do on the side of your foot if you like. But I do have the 1/4 inch mark. If you've got a 1/4 inch foot, by all means change it out and put it in to use it for now. If you need to get yourself a seam guide, which they do have them out there, you can get a seam guide for your 1/4 inch, whatever works for you. Even if you want to take a piece of washi tape and measure between where the needle goes down and a 1/4 inch over and put your washi tape right down the middle, you can do that too, because then when you sew this, your seam will be down the middle. Now keep in mind, we're off to the right and the left right now. So we're just going based on this line. It's when we put them together that we're going to be the 1/4 inch. So let me get my needle started. And just like before, I'm using a 12 needle. And my stitch is 2.5. Just like always, nothing's different on this. Just take your time. Create 4 of them. And all we're doing is cutting it in half. Now we're going to take them, open them up. Now I did use the spray starch, the best press on this, because it'll be easier to square it up. So take your ruler, and you're going to put it on that 45-degree angle right down that seam. The first thing I do is the least amount, because we're trying to get a 2.5 inch, which is 2.5 is up here and right here. And so I'm just trying to cut the edge off. Let's just turn it, because I'm going to have a hard time holding on to that with my thumb. And it's got to be re-put on the line each time you do it. I mean, you can go all the way around it. I don't know why that... Here we go. Right there. Let's see if that's close to... But the right hand side, no. Let's do, it's way off, but let's go ahead and do this end first. Okay. And there's my half right there. I'll have to smooth up that right hand side. It's just a little jagged over there for some reason. I have to change out these blades. I can't believe that this one I just got is that off already. See if I'm at my 2.5. Up a little bit off that edge. And I think a little bit off of that edge. Let's see. It's like way off the mark there. Here we go. Okay, so the top needs to be done. There's my 2.5, 2.5. See, you have a tendency to want to do the thing itself, but that doesn't work. It has got to be down that 45-degree angle or it's not right. I think that's good right there. Although this edge looks like it's 3.5, 3.5. It's this little corner right here. That's what's off. Okay. Give me a piece on there. There you go. Okay. Phew, that thing takes a minute, don't it? Alrighty, let's see here. Okay. I hope my arm's not getting too much in the way. That rabbit ear needs to come off. Let's go. Here we go. 2.5. 1.5. It makes me leery when there's so much to cut off. I've just about got it. Just got to have a little bit right off this right-hand corner. We got it. Right here. Alrighty. How much of my arm gets in there? Oh, my whole arm gets in there, don't it? Okay. Alright, let's see if turn this twice and let's see if I can get it this time. That should do it right there. There we go. All right, we got one more to do. Sorry, guys. I keep forgetting the dog's underneath the table. See here. Let's see, go down, get this side. Let's turn it. Keep on that 45-degree angle. Alright, let's turn this twice. Make sure you're in the camera here. Okay. And this should get it. Let's see here. There we go. Turn it. Got my 45 in there. There you go. That's it. All right. Now we can build the block and put it together. All right, so now we're going to build this the same way. We put a solid. Let's make sure it's in the picture. And we make sure they're all going the same way. Okay, so the hourglass goes like that. And then a solid. I need a white one. Goes in the middle. These go up and down. This one goes sideways like that. And then the colors. Now you're going to sew these two together and then this one to these two, just like we do when we put a block together. All right, so let's do that. So I'm not going to put any pins in this. It's little enough, and now that it's spray starch, it probably doesn't need it. I'm just going to make sure each corner. All right. And this is where I was talking about where we're going to do our 1/4 inch. So find yours on your machine so that your block will be 6.5 by 6.5 when you're finished. All right, so now keep in mind that the square with the white is the middle. Okay, so we're going to connect this. And I'm going to sew on this side because I want to see these seams so they don't fold over on me. All right. Now that's the one. And then we're going to do the next one. So we'll just set that aside. I'm going to put these two together first. Oh, it's doubling up on me here. Where's my stylus at? Here we go. I hope I caught that soon enough. Otherwise, it's going to have to come out. Let's see it. Nope, I think that's okay. All right. Now, since the first one is the first row, the one with the white is in the middle, now we know that this is on the outside. And they go the same way, whoops, like this, so that the white is up at the top and the bottom. If you can't remember, look at your picture. Get the next one over here, because we're going to take them over to the ironing board all at the same time, so we don't get confused while we're ironing our seams one direction or the other, because we got to do the nestling. What you're going to do when you go over to your ironing board is you're going to line them up just exactly like this. Make sure you can see them here. All right. You're going to do this row, this row, this row. So what you've got to decide is that when you flip this, after you relax your seams, you know, you iron this, then you iron that. And then when you've got it like that, you need to decide, are these going away or are they going in? They look like they want to go away. These look like they want to go in, so that's the way that I'm going to iron them. I don't want to be fighting against the fabric because you'll always have an issue with it. So it's better off to have these go out, these go in, these go out, and then they're all going to nestle correctly when you go to put them together to sew them. Now you're going to nestle these on the ends here. And it should fit. I'm trying to think, should I be doing it on the, nope, I'll put a pin in here. Put a pin in this corner so this does not flip on you when you get ready to sew. And since you starched this, if you did, it should be easy to handle. And it should all match up. Okay, we're going to sew that now. And we'll go done. Okay. Now we're going to pin the other one. Let's take a look at it. All the seams matched. Everything looks good. Make sure that you put the right sides together. So you want to take and put the one with the plain white fabric is in the middle. We're going to nest these again. Let me back you up a little bit here. So just repeat your nesting. Trying to make sure all your seams meet, your points. You're going to put a pin at the beginning so this doesn't flip on you or get distorted somehow. Probably won't flip on you. And let's see here. Make sure that goes together. And then the end, we don't want that to flip because that's facing us. All right, and then we just want to we want to sew it. That looks okay. Haven't chopped any of my points off. So when you get finished, you back it up a bit here. It should look like that. You don't need to square it or anything because this is 6.5 inches finished. Unfinished. So we'll be squaring it up afterwards before we build all the blocks together. Now go ahead and finish the next two, which will be the small one. So while I was going on to the next block and having difficulty with it, pinning it, I decided that it's going to be a lot easier to take one of the pieces, lay it down, mark it from the end to the end with your straight line, and then mark it with your dash lines, which are your sewing lines. So that's what I'm doing on this piece. Because it was slipping and sliding. The other one's got the pins in it, holding it together. So when you get done doing this, then take this other piece and put them together because it's already marked. And now you're going to nestle and put your pin in there. And I've stuck myself so many times I'm putting my pin the opposite direction. My hands are so dry, I guess that's why I'm stabbing myself today with the pins. So make sure you've nestled your fabric, fill it with your hands, and nestle it, and then put your pin in it. And then you can take it over there and sew it. All right? I think that'd be a lot easier. Okay, that's all I wanted to say real quick. All right, so we've done the 4 little ones, and now we're going to start on the big one. So you're going to take the large squares, A and C, which is, in this case, the pink and the white one. You're going to go ahead and mark down the middle of it with your solid line, just like we did before. And then you're going to do a 1/4 inch on both sides with the dash lines. And that's what I did. Now we're going to sew this like we did the little ones. So we have cut them in half once. Now we're going to sew them. After we've marked them, we put the right sides together. We opened them up. We ironed them. We put the right sides together. And now we're going to sew on each side of the middle there. Okay, so that looks good before we cut it. Since these were bigger, I was having a hard time matching those seams up. Got so used to that little stuff. And then when we get finished with this square, this one is supposed to be 12.5 inches by 12.5, unfinished again. So if it's a little bit big, that's fine. If it comes out exactly 12.5 by 12.5, that's fine also, because we'll be cutting it down eventually. And that looks good too. Now this one gets squared up to a 4.5 by 4.5 because that's the size of these colors and the white that build the block. So you can barely see it, but my diagonal line, the 45-degree angle, is down here. See it right there? So I got to put that up here. Nope, gotta go that way. Okay, let's see here. Up a little bit, down a little bit. It's kind of wonky here. Jeez, why is it like that? It wants to do the other two corners. That's kind of weird. Yeah, let's just do it then. All right. Goes that way. You want to sew this and put it together just like the other one. Well, I guess I'm going to need to pin it after all, because boy, it just doesn't want to stay put. Putting this together exactly like we did the little ones. Now you're going to sew these 3 pieces, or these 3 rows, I guess, because there are 3 pieces of 3 rows. We're going to put them all together. That's going to finish up this Ohio star. Well, anyway, go ahead, finish putting yours on, and I'll show you it when I get done. Alright, so I was downstairs editing my video, and my granddaughter said, what did relaxing your thread when you ironed it, or relaxing your seam, what did it mean? Did I show it on my video? Of course I forgot to show it, so I'm going to show it now. I'm slipping it in here. So here I have a piece of fabric that I just sewed together. It's not starched or anything, it's just sewn together. And this is what it means when I say to relax your seam. Here's the seam. And to relax your fabric means, I'm going to hold the camera up here so you can see it. Just take your iron and you're going to iron it. That's relaxing that seam. Okay? Open it up. And then slowly go over your seam like this. And then it looks like that. Okay? That's all it means. And then you can go back over it. And then it's laying down really, really nice right here on the seam. So if you were going to be doing any kind of top stitching now, for some reason, or this is where it's really nice when you're going to be sewing in the ditch, because you'd be sewing right along here, right along the edge, to the point that you're almost on this fabric. But this is ironed so nicely with no ripples or anything because you relaxed it before you flipped it. And that's what I do. It makes it easier. It doesn't end up, because sometimes when if you don't relax your seam and you iron, you end up like this. When you iron, it's straight here, but all of a sudden you've got a piece that way. So that when you go to lay it out and you pull it, all of a sudden you realize you didn't get it ironed up against this crease right here. You ironed it down along here. You might notice that. So I just wanted to put that in real quick. That's it. There you go. There it is, the 12.5-inch block and the 6.5-inch blocks. So that is the Threadology first block of the month. Got a shadow on this block over here. Ooh, let's see, there you go. Okay. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Click on the little bell, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.